Well, good afternoon, and thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. As you can see, my bike is looking much better. I was here a few days ago. I decided to paint my bike silver, technically aluminum. So I purchased this aluminum paint right here, and it's been quite a job. Like, the paint just keeps, I don't know, the can of paint has a picture of a bike on it, among other things, so I thought it would be easy. You just put it on there, etc., etc. The goddamn paint just drips right off it, and it's like you're coating it on there, and it's dripping, and you're coating it, and it's dripping, and it's like there's a mess everywhere. I've literally come out here like 3 or 4 times, my dear viewer, just in order to get it to a point where it's actually not looking too bad, right? It's actually looking pretty good. I don't mind it. It's got that used, like, not used look, but the look of, again, of something that is being worked on. Like, it's a it gives it, like, if you ask me, and I will say, it looks pretty cool. I don't know, I like it. It looks like there's something valuable, obviously, or something worthwhile that, like, it's getting worked on. Like, you're not gonna paint a crap bike. It's a nice bike, it's a super bike. Anyway, that was not the purpose of this video. I do want to talk about, of course, Islam, Christianity, God, atheism, things like this. I was very happy to see on one of my videos recently, post Friday prayer ramble about the same topic, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, like 55 views, which is great in my world. So if you're watching this, thank you, I appreciate it. There's something that I've been touching on this whole series of lectures, which I want to kind of solidify, which is the role of reason vis-a-vis religion and faith in God. Now, again, the conception or misconception out there is that the whole point of this is something that is basically a point of view which is incorrect, but that is propagated by atheists, right? And, you know, again, I highly respect atheists. I have several atheist friends, this kind of thing. Some of them are very principled people. They're probably the most intelligent people out there. They may be the most principled group of people, or non-group, as they like to say. They like to say, well, listen, we're not a group of people. We're just people that don't believe in these beliefs of yours, these polarizing beliefs. So now they say and they think and they put out there that the whole point of religion is that you're believing in things for which there is no evidence. And you're believing in things that, in fact, oftentimes is contrary to the evidence. And then it's like, that's the whole point. If you believe in God and you believe in angels and you believe in these things, this woo-woo stuff for which there's no evidence, and these things that can never be proved, then that's the whole point. You're given kudos because you are actually believing something on faith. You're believing something on faith, which basically you're just doing it on faith. There's no other basis for your belief. Now, in my last video, I talked about faith. I don't know what the title of that is. It's the video that I was basically, it wasn't even my last video, frankly, but I was painting the bike last time, and I talked about how faith is a feeling inside of you. So, again, faith is that feeling that you have that things are going to turn out good, that there's a purpose behind stuff, that there's a meaning, that, like, these kinds of things, like the feeling of you should do good and be honest, and you should not hurt people, and you should help people. And there goes a streetcar down King Street. Oops, we just missed it. So this is St. James Park, by the way. St. James Park. There's the spire of St. James Cathedral, although you can't see it. These new phones, I'm serious, this is like the best phone I've ever had, a Samsung A32. It's got the worst, like, photographic capabilities or whatever. Like, the cameras. There's like 3 or 4 cameras on this goddamn thing, and it's crap. Like anything beyond like 50 feet, like it's all glare. It's total crap. I think I'm not I'm not remiss in saying that iPhones are much better. Like, this is obvious, but I honestly think that like the previous generations of phones, at least the ones that I've had, have been much better in terms of just like nice pictures. All right, so excuse the haze and the glaze and these kinds of things. So now 5 minutes and I really haven't said much. Another reason why these YouTube videos, like, nowadays I'm basically lucky to get 7 views. Like literally my average on this channel is like 7 views. I've had videos that I've had 0 views on, and then I do what Gary Vaynerchuk advises, which is you repurpose your content. So just for what it's worth, if you put an article or if you put a YouTube video out there or any kind of content and you don't generate a lot of views, then you simply take it back, change the title, change the thumbnail, these kinds of things, change some of the tags, and it actually works. You send it back out there, and then yeah, you might get some views, some clicks. So I was outside the mosque, I got 55 views, I got a couple of comments on that video. I had originally titled it one thing. I had originally titled it a question for my Christian friends, and in brackets, did God create Jesus, yes or no? So yeah, I was very happy that when I changed the title on that, I went from 0 views, suddenly I got 55 views. So I'm speaking from experience, my dear viewer, although albeit bitter experience. So it's a beautiful fall day. It's like coming up on October. Like tomorrow is the 1st of October. The weather's still lovely. It's still t-shirt weather. People out and about with their dogs and these kinds of nice things. So yeah, so now reason vis-a-vis religion. So first of all, faith is not a religious thing. Faith is just a human concept, right? Like faith is this thing inside of us that makes us human, in a sense, like the goodness and like the perseverance, and when you tell your kid everything's going to be all right. So I urge you to check out that video. I may have changed the title. I originally entitled it faith is a feeling, based on a saying of our 6th Imam, the great grandson of Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, who basically said that faith is this feeling inside of you. Like he was talking to some kind of sailor or some guy who was about to get he was about to be drowned. He was in a stormy sea, in like on a ship in a stormy sea, and like it was getting tossed about, and everything was going to pot, going down the tubes, like people are dying, stuff is capsizing, and he thought he was going to die. And the Holy Imam said, so it looked like you were going to perish, and you were pretty certain of this from a rational perspective. Your reason and all evidence was pointing towards the fact that you were going to perish. And the guy said, yeah. And the Holy Imam said, yeah, but still there was this feeling inside of you that persisted in believing that you may just survive, and this feeling compelled you to keep on keeping on. This thing called the human spirit, the triumph of the human spirit, that is faith. And all of these things, the goodness and those things that testing 1 2 3. So yeah, I had a buddy just call, and he crazy. I might as well tell you the story. Like this whole video, like whatever, like this is just my recovery journal as far as that goes, and a diary, and something I can look back in my old and golden years, these kinds of things. I didn't talk much about God or faith or anything like this yet. Reason, I want to get to that, but I want to just share this story with you. So I have a buddy who, and all names shall not be omitted from this story. It's just the craziest thing. It's just when I'm going to tell you, and I wonder what you think of this. If anyone is watching this, thank you again. I appreciate it. If you've got any thoughts or feedback or comments, they really make my day. So if you do want to share a comment, or if you've got a question, that'd be great. So now, my buddy just called. He got out of jail. Yeah, because I was in jail for 18 months. I have cannabis use disorder. This is a totally different topic and a different set of videos. And this video is meant to be about God and reason and Islam and faith and answering atheist like positions and things like this. But I want to share the story with you, and I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, I'm basically stuck on what I'm gonna do with this video. I've just been stammering and rambling and walking around. I feel great. Like, this is what that is like, and I'm just enjoying the evening, waiting for the coat of paint to dry in my bike so I can apply a second coat of paint. And so yeah, someone called in the middle, which is why I got to stitch these two videos together, and that slight delay or pause or what have you. So now, I was in jail for 18 months, arson charge. I have cannabis use disorder. I was diagnosed bipolar in November of 2011. When I smoke weed, if I smoke 1 or 2 joints, or even a joint for 1 or 2 weeks, or whatever, every day for 1 or 2 weeks, whatever, it's fine, and it just like, it's just like a normal person. I get sleepy, I have munchies, I pass out or whatever, and these kinds of things. However, as the THC accumulates in my system, at a certain point it triggers a more or less a psychotic reaction. I'm diagnosed bipolar, and I just basically start acting out and breaking things, fighting, aggressive, super aggressive. I was just talking to my friend about this, and I told him, like, everyone says I'm such a nice guy, and he's like, you are. And unfortunately, when I become manic, like, you can go to some of these links below. These links in the description are some of my old YouTube channels. I'm locked out of most of them because when you change your number, sometimes you can get locked out of Facebook or whatever, like your Gmail account. So just be careful. If you've got a phone number attached to your Gmail account, I don't advise you do this. This whole thing with two-factor, two-step authentication, whatever, you can end up losing your account. Now, I was manic, smoking weed. Like, after a month or so, I started acting crazy, and for like 10, 12 years, I was in and out of jail, in and out of shelters, on and off the street, psych wards, the works, right? Finally went to jail, and I had some kind of personal transformation. I talk about this in my video, How to Change Your Life with One Decision, this book that changed my life. So now, yes, my friend was in jail. He was there for manslaughter. He actually caught a break as that worked. Unfortunately, he was drunk and high as well. He was in his house, and someone broke into his house or something like this. He ended up fighting this guy, and he ended up killing this guy inadvertently or whatever. This is what happens. Accidents happen. Like they say in Pakistan, in Urdu, we have this saying that bad things don't announce themselves, right? And the thing is, good and bad things are often unexpected, if not all things. Like, you have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring, and life just deals you like ups and downs, and they're always unexpected. Anyway, my friend was in jail, and they were going to charge him with murder too, I suppose. But they gave him manslaughter, and he had to plead, and he pled guilty, and he was there for 4 years. And he just got out 2 weeks ago. So I got out like 6 or 8 weeks ago, mid-July, about 7 weeks or whatever, 6 weeks. And it's the best feeling in the world. Like just that you realize again that just being alive and life, and especially living in beautiful Toronto or like in the West, we have everything that we need to be like immeasurably and unbelievably happy and these kinds of things. And my whole thing right now, I didn't want to talk about the recovery and the addiction and these kinds of things, but the whole process is, as a recovering addict or whatever, like this guy with like substance abuse or mental health issues, just learning to appreciate everyday life, just learning to just appreciate the air and the trees and the birds and the grass and people with their dogs, and painting my bike, painting my beat up old super cycle gives me more pleasure than some guy with a hangar full of Porsches like Seinfeld. You know what I mean? Like, it's not how much you have in life, it's how much you enjoy it. And the unfortunate thing is, I mentioned on my last video, the more you have, the less you enjoy it, and the more you have, the less happy you are generally. People in Colombia, where my wife is from, they're so happy and so beautiful and so peaceful and so holy and these kinds of things. Anyway, they laugh and smile and these kinds of things. So now, my friend got out of jail, and I don't know who might listen to this kind of thing, or why you clicked on this video, or what I'm going to call it, all of these things, but I gotta save this story for perpetuity. It's the craziest thing ever. So in jail, you've got different ranges, different units. They're called a range. So you've got like 20 cells, and each jail cell can have 2 people in them. So you've got a maximum of 40 people that can be on a range, a unit. Just average unit at our jail here in Toronto is the Toronto South Detention Center. That's the main jail, Supermax, right? It just a few years ago, it was brand new and state of the art. It's still state of the art, but now it's brand old. It's like already been like 10 years or whatever. So now you have like 30, 40 people on a range. And of course, it's the usual, like people not getting along and these kinds of things. And, you know, there's obviously the social dynamics of the thing. And then like people trading stuff. My jail cell, people used to call a convenience store. I would be trading stuff all day long. This was part of the amazing time I had in jail. I went through a personal transformation. I went from being a cynical, self-absorbed, chronically depressed, anxiety-ridden, practically suicidal wreck like I was for 10 years. Thanks to, I think, in a large part, the psychotropic medication, the psychiatric medication I was given, which is called lithium. And there's a reason that Kurt Cobain, rest in peace of Nirvana fame, called his song, he wrote a song called Lithium. Like, this is a powerful mind-altering drug that they give to bipolar people, right? And I mentioned this to like my doctor at CAMH, the Center for Addictions and Mental Health here in Toronto, and she just dismissed this statement of mine blithely by saying, oh, but everybody knows that Kurt Cobain wasn't bipolar, or something like this. Like, he wrote a song about this drug and he ended up killing himself. These drugs, like, I was just listening to some guy called Daniel Schmachtenberger, and I wish more people knew about this guy. Anyway, like, the thing is this, that not only do these psychiatric drugs not help, they're directly correlated, and there's a proportional correlation between the introduction of all these pills, these pharma pills, big pharma pills, and then they've actually made it worse, is where I'm going. Like, not even talking about your liver is ruined, or your kidneys malfunctioning, or you're urinating blood and things like this, or like you're having epileptic seizures because of some of these pills, but the prevalence of mental health conditions has gone up, and they've gotten worse, and the more pills they put out there, the worse it gets. Hello. And it's so funny that nobody wakes up to this thing, and it's just a thing. It's just one of these things. It's like, when I think about the world sometimes, I'm like, wow, how do people survive? How are we all still here? These kinds of things. Anyway, I got to get back to my bike. This video is a write-off. I don't even know why anyone would watch this. I try to be entertaining and informative. I did want to talk about God and reason and faith. I got distracted by my friend's phone call. So here's what happened. We're all on a range. My friend's doing 4 years. I'm doing 18 months. I got out in July. He got out in September. And we have some other characters there. And apparently, and there was a CO. The thing that breaks my heart is there's this amazing and beautiful CO at Toronto South. And she really cared about me, and she cared about a lot of other people. She basically saw me, what kind of CO? Corrections officer? The kind of corrections officer, she saw me praying on a towel or a sheet in my cell once, and she herself wrote out a requisition to the chaplain for a prayer mat. The chaplain, like we have an Islamic chaplain in jail, and then there's a Christian one as well. They're all called chaplain. The Islamic guy, I guess technically would be called the imam. But in any case, she got me a prayer mat, and I told her, now every time I pray, you're getting a reward for it. So you get the reward for 5 times daily prayers, plus many more that I pray through the grace of God for free. Anyway, she really took care of me. She went out of her way to help so many of us, and some of these bastards on her range took advantage of her kindness. And this story is so bizarre. So they talked her into bringing a letter from one of these guys into jail. A letter which had been laced with methamphetamines. The letter, they had soaked the letter in methamphetamine. So it's like in the movies where they soak stuff in with acid, right? So this letter came into the jail. It was soaked with methamphetamine, and I was there when 1 and then 2 and then 3 guys went they went completely insane. There was one guy, he's like a brown guy from Sri Lanka or New Guinea or something like this, a nice, quiet, polite kind of guy. He fucking goes ape shit. He comes out on the range, they open the doors, and we're out on the range all day. We're out on the range until lunch, then they lock us up, and then we're out again. We had a great range. Through the grace of God, I was on a range that was open most of the day, from 8 in the morning to 6 at night, which is a huge blessing. We're not just sitting in our cells locked up. Some days we are when they're short of staff. Anyway, this guy goes insane. Then another guy goes completely insane. He takes off his clothes. His cellmate's banging on the door saying, CO, corrections officer, CO, and like the guy's losing it, and they take him off to the hospital. And then a third guy goes insane. It's because they were eating chunks of this paper that was dipped in meth. Anyway, this is not the whole thing though. Like, I don't know how it occurred that another guy had gotten out, and the CEO and him were close, and it turns out they were closer than they should have been. They ended up in a hotel room together. Can you believe this? This poor lady, she's such a sweet and amazing lady. And then they got into a fight, and the cops were called, and they both got charged by the cops. And then the cops found out that she was a corrections officer and he was her former inmate, and she's in jail. She's in jail right now. That guy came back to jail, and when he came back on the range, he got into fights because, like, you're not meant to be that close with like a CO, right? Like, I don't know, this whole thing is just bizarre. Like, so that's where I'm gonna have to leave this. I did want to talk about God and reason. All I want to say is that in Shia Islam, I'll end with this, and it's of course going to probably take several minutes, but I want to share one last thing with you. Like, I mentioned in my last video where I was painting the bike, I forget, and I don't know what I retitled that video. I was trying to explain how faith is a feeling inside you. Faith is not about saying, oh, I believe in God, or I believe in the Spirit, or Krishna, or Buddha, or Ram, or something like this. Faith is just, this is what it is. The whole thing is, are you expressing your best self? This is what that boils down to. Like, faith is honesty and goodness and kindness, and everyone knows what to do. This is what some atheists and so-called enlightened atheists, the ones that I call enlightened, right? They ask good questions, and they have a position that is grounded on reason, and that's their whole go-to. Like, if it's not reasonable or based on reason, like when you say it's based on evidence, that's problematic. But based on reason, you know, and I'll talk about all of this stuff in future videos, right? I appreciate you watching again. In Islam, like, the 3 core beliefs, again, are belief in God, belief that he sent messengers, and belief in the afterlife. and the day of judgment, let's say, and the fact that like you're going to get rewards and punishment for your life here, this kind of thing, belief in the next world, like these three beliefs. And you're not allowed to believe these things just as, I mean, like as a given. Like you're not allowed, you'll be questioned. And unless you've what we're taught is, and what we're told is, nice lighting effects, how this haze in the glaze, this crappy like camera setup, like the phone's got like 4 cameras on it and it's like total crap, right? Maybe it's because of the facing camera, I guess, is crap. I don't know, I just have a feeling that my previous phones, they were all crappy, but they shot better videos than this. Now, faith, okay, is a feeling. It's not connected with religion. It's a feeling of good and goodness, and that feeling of peace and purpose and meaning, and the triumph of the human spirit, and these things. That stuff, that's inside of everyone. That's part A, right? So, and that's what counts. Not saying, oh, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm this or that or whatever, because everyone knows that the worst people in the world are religious. This is what that is. Religion itself may or not be bad, but religious people are the worst. I'm a Muslim, I can say this for sure. The worst people in the world are in fact Muslims. Even the Quran says this. So you can shoot me a comment if you want me to elaborate on that. Now, as far as these 3 core beliefs, belief in God, belief in prophets that were sent by God, because he doesn't speak to each of us one-on-one, right? And then belief in an afterlife. You're meant to rationalize these things, and specifically in Shia Islam, reason is the thing. Reason is the be-all, end-all. And there's a saying like this, a story like this from our 6th Imam, peace be upon him. Okay, the great grandson of Muhammad. And the Shia sect of Islam is called Jafari. Jafari named after our 6th Imam, Jafar as-Sadiq. And of course, as Shias, we follow the family of Muhammad. So Sunni people, they basically elected their own leaders that they called caliphs, Khalifa. Caliph meaning like someone that comes after someone else, successor. And we say, like the Quran says, that Allah, God subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal, Allah says in the Quran, Inni ja'alun fil ardi khalifa, that I'm the one that sends my representatives to the earth, these kinds of things. So Sunni people just elected like normal people to be leaders, and we say that these people were just politicians and things like this, and they were like normal sinful people, to put it mildly, right? And we follow the family of Muhammad, and we call them imams, as in divine leaders. Starting with Imam Ali, I urge you to Google sayings of Imam Ali, okay, ALI, and then go to Google Images. You'll see some beautiful sayings. You can also Google his speeches and judge for yourself. And this is the whole thing, right? So if you want to know why I'm a Muslim and why I'm so fired up about my faith, just go read some speeches of Imam Ali, or read some of the prayers of our 4th Imam. There's a book called The Psalms of Islam, a bunch of prayers by our 4th Imam. And then just tell me if you've ever read any kinds of prayers, or you've seen any kinds of speeches that are this amazing, and the kinds of wisdom and things like this. It's just a shame that most Muslims aren't aware of some of these things, and even Shias, like not many Shias read or peruse these things. I mean, the real thing to me as a Muslim is like, we have such a beautiful religion, but such bad followers, right? It's like a line from one of our prayers from our Imams, which is, oh God, what a beautiful master, and what a vile and wretched servant, right? Anyway, so now, according to the 6th Imam, when God, the Almighty, created reason, aql it's called in Arabic, the heavy A, and then qa, the heavy K, aqa, which might be called the Q, and then L, 3 letters. Aql means reason. And reason is the basis of everything. Like, they say that, and it is the case, that everything should accord with reason, and whatever doesn't accord with reason, you you ignore it, you abandon it. So atheists are correct in this regard. It's just that they miss the mark in some places, and I want to get into some of this stuff. So now, when God created reason, it sounds like a fairy tale and it sounds like absurd, and people might roll their eyes, but the point of it is that reason is preeminent. He created reason, and then he said he loved it. He was so happy with this creation. And in the pre-material world, in the world of spirits or what have you, the world of light, he said, come forward. He beckoned it, and it came, and it came forward, and he said, turn around, let me have a good look at you, and I'll step back again. And then he said the following: God the Almighty and the Most High, he said, well, Ya malaikati wa ya sukkana samawati, all my angels and all the inhabitants of my heavens, I swear, bi'izzati wa jalali, I swear by my might and my honor and my glory, that I have not created anything more precious than this creature, reason, this creature. And just remember and know that whoever is admitted to my heavens, like blissful and honored and victorious, it will be because that person obeyed this creature of mine, reason. And whoever ends up in hell, abject and rejected and despised and vile and these kinds of things, it will be on account of his having ignored this creature, reason. So I'll leave it at that. Long video, I know, didn't say much, but I had a good time, and thank you for watching these kinds of things. Shoot me some comments, like throw me a line here, like tell me what part of this is interesting to you, and I promise I'll get focused. Like, nothing motivates me more than trying to be a service to some other person. Anyway, take care, thank you, and comments appreciated.